Okay, so welcome back. And now what we're going to do is do some examples of finding domains of logarithmic functions. Okay, it's very easy. All we have to do is look at the argument, nothing else. Okay, the base doesn't matter. What's going on outside the function doesn't matter. What matters is what's going on inside the function with the domain, or with the argument. Okay, so everything else we can ignore. So let's do the first one. So here the argument is x plus 3. So we know that in general, for the basic log function, log base b of x has to be a positive real number. So that means the argument has to be a positive real number. So that means this x plus 3 has to be a positive real number. So that means that the first thing we do is we set up the inequality that x plus 3 must be greater than 0. Okay, right. Now we just solve for x. So we just subtract 3 from both sides, and we get x is greater than negative 3. And now we know that the domain of this function is from negative 3 to positive infinity. That's the domain. Okay, similarly, if we look at b, we've got this going on. So what do we got? We got log base 5, x minus 2 is the argument, and then we got plus 1 out here. We don't care about the plus 1, right? We don't care about the base. All we care about is what's in here, okay? And so we're going to set up the inequality. So the argument has to be greater than 0. So x minus 2 is greater than 0. So again, we add 2 to both sides. We isolate x, right? And then we get x is greater than 2. And so now our domain then is 2 comma infinity. Okay? And finally, if we look at this one here, again, log base 10. By the way, this is a common log, right? There's no base given, so this is automatically assumed to be a common log, which is base 10. But we don't care about that because all we're asked is about the domain. So when we're only looking at the domain, when we're only interested in finding the domain, we just need to look at the argument and realize that the argument has to be greater than 0, right? So we set up the inequality. 5 minus 2x is greater than 0. And we solve it just like we solved it the other two. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, subtract 5 from both sides. I got to isolate this, so I'm going to get rid of the 5. So add 5 to both, or subtract 5 from both sides. And now what do I get? I get negative 2x is greater than negative 5. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. Okay? I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. Now this is where you have to be careful. Remember, whenever you multiply and divide by a negative number, you've got to flip the inequality. So when I do that, I'm going to get x is less than what? 5 halves. And so now, in this instance, the domain is going to be what? Negative infinity to 5 halves. Okay? And so that's the domain. And that's how you do it. Have a great day.